Hello everyone, welcome to Thyros Web Development Tips and Tutorials. Today I will be picking up a challenge from frontendmentor.io and working on it using Tailwind CSS. So let's go to challenges here. And the challenge that I will be picking up is this Testimonials grid section. You'll have to be signed in with GitHub to be able to start this challenge. So let me do that first. And once you're signed in, click on Start Challenge. And this will give you a zip file. Let me extract that. And we get the design in the desktop format and as well as the mobile. So this is how it should look on mobile and like this on desktop. We also have been provided with the images that are required, and we also have the style guide and where we can see the colors used, the font size and the text colors, etc. The font used as well. And this you can go through on your own. So let's get started. I have this project set up with Tailwind already. I have Tailwind installed and I have also done npx Tailwind CSS in it. To set up a project exactly like this, you can go and visit the video that I have linked above. I'm using a custom style sheet which I will be building using this build script so that I have all the styles within my public folder styles.css, and this is my index.html. So I will be working on this right now. Let me also install live server so that we can view the output immediately. So I'll open this up in live server. I'll open the public folder. So yes, I have nothing as of now. Let me open this up in the browser for reference. Yes, now let's get started. I have opened up my blank document and the mockup on mobile size because Tailwind is mobile first. And now let's get started with the background. So body, class, BG, gray, maybe 200. That's okay. And now let's get started with a wrapper div and then each of these divs here. So let's start with the first one. So this has a background of something like purple. So it looks like purple 600, and then text must be white. There's a padding of about P8, I think, to REM, and rounded, mostly rounded LG. So yes, this is what it looks like, but the wrapper div has some padding and margin, so let's give it that. Maybe margin top of about 10 and then overall padding of about 8. Or maybe 6 and then 10. Okay, that's fine, that's okay. Now let's fill this up. So we're also provided with the index.html, so you can copy all of this right from there. What I'll do is I'll first have a div with flex so that we can have the image and this text here. So div class flex with an image and image. Oh, I need to copy the images first. So let me do that. We are provided with the images here. Copy all of them into this new folder, images. Yes. So now if you do this, yes, you get image daniel.jpg, class h8 maybe, height 8, width 8, rounded full, has a border, so border 2, and the border is purplish, so border purple looks like purple 400. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we have something pretty close. So here I'll not be achieving pixel perfect output the way you would generally do with front-end mentor, but I'd like to achieve almost say 99.5% of perfection here. Let's continue. We have the name Daniel Clifford, so that entire thing again comes in another div, h2. You can obviously copy paste these from the index, from the HTML file already provided. For now I will just quickly type it. Right, so h2 class font bold, and this is quite small, so text sm, h3 class text xs because it's even more small, and this has some gap. This has to be justify start, and also flex, sorry, not flex, space x about say 4. What does this look like? Pretty close. So we need to have this particular exact font for it to look the same. Let's take that font from Google Fonts. There is a link right here in the style guide. So go to this link, and they've mentioned select 500 and 600 weights. So select that. And go to import, copy the statement, close this, come back here into your styles.css, the custom style sheet within the source folder, paste this, paste the line that you copied, and then in your tailwind.config.js, I'll remove this, this was for a previous project. In your tailwind.config.js, let's add within the extend. So I also have a video on customizing Tailwind for your needs, so you can refer that video if you want more details. So this is how it's done. Extend font family. I'd want to replace the sans font with this Barrow. So it's Barlow semi-condensed sans serif. That's how it's done. And we need to do npm run build because we changed our config file. So yes, if you see, we have the exact font here, but we don't have this color. First thing is I need to add this class anti-aliased to the body. The fonts look much better when we do this. So yes, there it is. And as mentioned in the style guide, the verified graduate is of opacity 50%. So we can add that easily with Tailwind again. And there we go. This is great. This is done. Let's add these two paragraphs right now. So P empty4, I guess. And then this is text font bold again. And probably text Excel. Let's see what this gives us. So let me also open up the index so that I can copy the text. Yeah, copy this and paste it right here. Let's see what this gives us. This is almost fine, but we need to reduce the line height. So text Excel, for that the utility class starts with leading, and we have normal here, but let's make it tight. And we almost have the output. That's great. Let's add the next para. That's again PMT4 and text looks like text small. According to style guide, this has opacity 70%. Now let's add the content. It's here. And yes, so we have to also add this quotation marks as background. For that, what we can do is right here within this, we can add the image with bg pattern quotation.svg, and this has to be absolutely positioned. But for this to be absolutely positioned, the parent element has to be relatively positioned. We should not forget that. So that is relative. This is absolute with top 0 and a right of maybe right 4. Almost there. I think right 6 would be better. Yeah, that's close. But this is overlapping, so we need to add a z index. Let's add z index 0 to this. So z0, but for this div we need to add a z10, for which again this has to be at least relatively positioned, z10, and also this div has to be relative z10. Okay, so the first div is in place already, and the HTML will almost be the same for this next div onwards. So let me copy and paste this once quickly and remove the content inside. Remove this, verified graduate is same for everyone, so I'll keep it as it is. Remove this, and yes, we have this, but yeah, we don't need the quotation SVG for all other divs. Let me remove that, and so copy this and paste it 4 more times, 3 more times, I guess. Yeah, this is great. Now we need to add some gap here, and this can be easily done with margin top maybe, but since we anyway know that the desktop design here needs to be, let me open the desktop design also once. Since we know that the desktop design needs us to use grid, we can use grid even for this, leave it at 1 column, and we can use the grid gap utilities to create this graph. So let me add grid to the parent element, grid calls 1, and then a gap of maybe 4. Let's see what that looks like. That's a little less, maybe a gap of 8 will do. That's a little too much. So gap 6 is perfect, I guess. Yes. So we have this. Now we need to change the background color first thing. So the first one is a gray, dark gray. So BG gray, this could be BG gray 700. Yeah. Or no, it's quite dark. BG gray 600. The next one is BG white. And then it's a much darker gray. So BG gray 900, and then once again it's BG white. Of course, the text here would be text gray 800, even for, and for this the text would be text gray 800. Let's change the images now. So it's Jonathan, then Janet, and then comes Patrick, and then Kira. And for some reason, there is a border only on Patrick image and not on any other image. So let's remove the border from all the other images. Remove this. For Patrick, leave the border as it is. Janet, remove the border. And then remove the border for Jonathan as well. Okay. Now let's add the names. Let's add in all the content now. Great, we have all the content now, and this completes our mobile design. It's already done. Simple, right? You see how fast it is with Tailwind. You have the colors almost close and everything else as well. The font size and the bold, the other styles, the rounded borders and everything. We didn't add a single line of CSS except for the font that we imported. Great. Now let's move on to designing the desktop site. If we look at the desktop site, the only difference is that we need to span this div across two columns and this div across two columns, this div across two rows, and also push it to the far right. Now, how do we do this? And let's do this only when we hit the LG breakpoint. Until then, it will be too crushed if we change the grid. So at LG exactly, let's change the grid columns to, how many columns do we get then? So this makes it 1 column, 2 columns, 3, and then 4. So at LG breakpoint, let's say grid calls 4. See what this does. So at exactly this screen size, it splits into 4 columns. And now let's do a call span to for the first div. LG call, is it call span? Yeah, it's call span to. See what this does? Great. The second one is as it is. The third is this. This is the fourth one. So for the fourth div, let's do a call span to once again. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, for Patrick, LG call span to again. This is great. Now we need to move Janet down here. For that, let's mention the the row start as 2 and the call start as 1. So for Janet, again at LG, row start 2. I think the call start 1 is not necessary. Yes, it's already moved here. All we need to do is move up Kira and make it row span 2. So for Kira, LG row span 2 and LG row start 1 and also LG call start 4. That's it. Do we have the final design? Yes, we do have the final design. This is what we're supposed to achieve, and that's what we have achieved. This is amazing. Just that maybe you'll have to tweak the font sizes a little, but otherwise we have the output just as expected. and Tailwind made it so much more faster, so much more easy. This is why I absolutely love it. So if you enjoyed this, do share the video with your friends and stay tuned for lots more such videos. Thank you for watching. Hit a like and share this video ahead. If you enjoyed watching this, don't forget to subscribe below and turn on the notifications so you won't miss a single video from Tyrus.